It's true that nobody has any idea where these markets are going, but there are things that we do know, so we should be focused on those. What I do know is that the government is more involved than they have ever been before, and that is both a good thing and a bad thing. Without getting too much in the weeds, basically what that means is that it's true that more adoption, more interest, and more eyes than have ever been on the industry before are currently there. However, we also have to remember that the government getting super involved in stuff is not necessarily the best thing for whatever that thing they're looking at is. Along with growing interest and adoption and improving utility in some of these projects actually starting to generate some revenue and find some semblance of product market fit, the grift also increases. More people spending more time and more energy and more money inside of these ecosystems mean that people interested in extracting as much value as they can from people have more of a reason to set up shop. This is why education and objective analysis are so frickin' important. Right now, it's pretty easy to look at a bunch of price charts and say, okay, markets appear to be down. Are we heading into a bear market? Again, nobody knows how long it's going to last or exactly what's going to need to happen to turn this whole ship around or whatever. But what we can do is focus on being agile and taking time to observe carefully and make sure that we get a better picture of everything that's going on. Some prices are starting to come down, and with that, there is always a heavy push in messaging from people who are lightly informed at best to just buy a bunch of stuff because now's the time. And I would caution you there. You don't necessarily just want to start aping into things without creating some sort of a plan first. So I would say observe and plan and come up with some sort of method to invest strategically, right? Just because prices have come down from where they once were does not mean that it's suddenly all sorts of safe to put more money than you could afford to invest into something volatile just because. Definitely don't quit. Now is not the time to quit paying attention or quit learning. If you've made the commitment to figure this stuff out, get better at it, learn the jargon, all those sorts of things, now is the time. I mean, it's always a good time to learn, but especially now because you can observe things that you don't see when markets are exploding and everyone's token prices are through the roof, right? Namely, who's still pushing? Who's not had their entire business, turned on its head just because the token prices have crashed and interest is dropping? Pay attention, ask questions, right? Interest in this industry is growing. More and more businesses are trying to get started here. VC funding is continuing to flow. All of this stuff brings new attention, new potential, new opportunities, and new risks. And so learning as much as you possibly can is the best idea of all time.